Welcome back, friends. We are here with another episode of the Whole Life Vitality Podcast. And today you are in for a treat because my amazing friend, Rebecca Beavers, is back to chat with us. We met Rebecca, gosh, I don't know, maybe that was 6 months ago when your podcast aired. But if you missed it, go back and watch that one, listen to it. You definitely want to pay attention to that. She's got amazing things to say. But today, oh my gosh, we are here to talk to you about all the creepy crawlies, all the creepy crawlies that are living inside of us. Gross.
Exciting. I don't know why. I feel like I should be more freaked out about like parasites living inside of my body, but I just am so fascinated by the whole thing that once I realized that, oh, we all have parasites. And people think, oh, Americans don't have that problem. But boy, do we have that problem. And I don't think it's necessarily a problem. It's just a thing that happens when you're living in
Yeah.
this world where there are, we're in environments where there are other living organisms among us besides us. Like, duh.
I mean, how narcissistic do we have to be to assume that we are the only people on the planet, the only intelligent, whatever.
We could never have parasites. What? No.
Right.
Wash our hands and, sanitize all the things. But surprise, we do. And it's totally normal and it's not weird and it's not gross. And actually, I think it's like fascinating.
Yeah, it is fascinating. Okay, but let's go back and I want to know what started this parasite journey for you.
Okay, the internet.
The interwebs, man, they get us every time, don't they?
Instagram, I actually started following. I'm a sucker for anything homeopathic, holistic. I love learning how I can heal my own body, aid it in the healing process. I'm a firm believer God gave us everything we need to heal ourselves here in this space. And I wanted to just learn, like, how do I do that? And so one of the ways that I did that was the internet, and Instagram was a great resource for me. And I follow quite a few doctors that specialize in like frequency medicine, which is just like another kind of holistic homeopathic way, energetic way to learn about the body and how it works, and traditional Chinese medicine. And I fell down the rabbit hole. Okay, that's what happened. And I ended up following this guy. His name is Dr. Charlie. Highly recommend him. He's on Instagram. He's fabulous. He's got this incredible membership as well. But he shares a lot for free on the internet. And he was one of the first ones that I heard ever talk about parasites and that it was a thing and that we had them. And he talked about the symptoms of parasites. And I was like, hold on a second. I totally have parasites. Like when he was talking about the symptoms, you
So
know?
what kind of symptoms was he talking about that like blew your mind or made you think that you might be dealing with that?
Well, I have struggled my entire life with like gastrointestinal, digestive struggles. I know it's so many of us, right? Raise
Yes.
your hand now if you're
Right.
listening. Shout out, you're not alone. And constipation was like one of the major symptoms of having parasites. And why is that? Well, it's because parasites actually emit toxins, chemicals within your body because they don't want to be eliminated.
Wait,
Like
hang on. They don't wanna be evicted from their homes? They like their primary residence?
they like living. Turns out parasites like living.
That's so weird.
But that's like one of the main symptoms. And I have struggled with constipation I don't remember a time in my life that I didn't struggle with that. I mean, pre all of this, right? So it's definitely been a learning process, but that was a symptom. Eczema, psoriasis, just like fatigue, chronic fatigue, brain fog.
Isn't
Yeah.
that so funny? I feel like we blame so many other things on these symptoms. We have, I think lots of people deal with brain fog, deal with fatigue, they deal with digestive discomfort, and we blame all sorts of other things. Oh, I'm just stressed. Oh, I didn't sleep well, or I have a lot going on, or I'm not eating particularly great, or whatever. But maybe it's parasites.
Maybe. And I'm not saying that it's always parasites, but I'm saying because there are other causes to those symptoms, right? But I'm saying like if you can kind of dial in, it could be. Like, that's probably top 3 things that it is. If you have a lot of food sensitivities, if you have a lot of allergies, if you are a restless sleeper, that was another major symptom of mine. When they were talking about restless sleeping, I was like, "What?" That is me, has been since I could remember.
That is amazing. I feel like I know so many people who say that they fall asleep okay, or it takes them a little while to fall asleep, and then they stay asleep for a couple hours and then they're awake and they can't go back to sleep. So again, that could be parasites?
Yeah, totally. And if you think about it this way, like, you know, the traditional Chinese medicine, they have kind of like the clock. That's like if you wake up at 3 o'clock, it's your liver. If you wake up at this time, it's this. And I think that that can also correlate with the parasites, depending on like where they are in your body.
Wow. Oh, that is so fascinating. Okay, so then you were like, maybe I have parasites. Maybe this is something that I need to do.
Yeah.
So then what? Then what did you do?
So, because he was so great about sharing, like, hey, here are the symptoms. And then he was also great about sharing, and here's how you can fight this, you know, deal with this thing that could be parasites. So, I started researching the different herbs that he was sharing, just seeing kind of what was going to, you know, what I could start with, because I was really dipping my toe into the deep end of the ocean, really, you know. So, I started with something as simple as like black walnut extract,
Okay.
and that is a big one that parasites do not like. And then I don't know if you guys know this, but clove, parasites hate clove.
Interesting. So hang on, does that mean that we should all go out and get some pumpkin spice lattes? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. So, definitely don't do that. You should make your own pumpkin spice latte at home with your own clove. Don't go to the Starbucks. There's no real clove in there, guys. I don't know.
Yeah, okay. All right. But like ground clove, whole clove, clove essential oil.
Yeah, I used clove essential oil. And one of the reasons that Dr. Charlie talked about why you want to partner that with something that kills off the parasites is because what happens when parasites start to die, I learned this was so cool, is that in order to protect themselves, they will lay eggs, like a lot. So you can't just go after the parasite itself. You have to go in and go for the eggs too. So the clove actually is part of the process of like breaking down any kind of protection or barrier around those eggs, egg sacs, and stuff like that. And that way, the other stuff you're using, the herbs, can like penetrate and like kill them because parasites are so smart. They are conscious organisms, you guys. Conscious organisms. They have thoughts. They're like sending out hormones and disruptors, and that is just, it's kind of creepy when you think about it.
It really gives me the heebie-jeebies. It does. Like thinking about these creatures that are then all of a sudden afraid for their lives, right? And so they start just like abundantly laying offspring, and that is terrifying. So then you're doing the things to try and get rid of them. Like you are whatever, drinking your pumpkin spice, you're using your clove, you're taking your wormwood or your burdock root or whatever. And then how do you actually like get them out of your body if they're just going to continue to lay a bazillion eggs?
Right. Yeah. So, and the other thing that parasites do in the dying off process is they will, I mean, they're trying to stay alive. They're like throwing everything at the wall to see what saves them, pretty much, you know? They will emit like toxins and they will throw out major, just nasty stuff. So, like, if you're parasite cleansing, it's not rare for you to feel like crap because they're dying off and they're sending off all of these things into your body to get you to stop whatever you are doing because they're trying to save themselves.
And
So,
not just physically, but emotionally as well. Like
oh,
depressed, sad, anxious, worried, whatever it might be,
yeah,
thinking that you are dying, that I'm dying, I'm not going to survive this, so I need to go eat a cookie.
yeah, yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's pretty fascinating what they will do to survive. So what I learned through the process is I learned, you know, of course, the different things to combat the parasites, to kill them off. But one of the things early on in my parasite cleansing journey that I didn't quite grasp or realize is that you have to have all of your like detoxification portals open and running. So like if you First of all, taking a binder is a must because you need all of that stuff to bind together so you can flush it out of your body.
So
If
a
you don't,
binder, like a heavy fiber supplement, something that's gonna like pull everything together and hold it in your colon so it'll come out together.
yeah. Yeah, as those toxins are making their way through your body, they have got to be, because otherwise they can go other places and can make you feel terrible, and you don't want that. And like I said, in the parasite dying off process, you'll probably, there will be times in which you will be feeling probably terrible. I mean, honestly, if I'm being, that was my experience, and I know a lot of people that have gone through this, and it seemed like that was kind of across the board. There are a few days, if not more than a few, that you're feeling really, really terrible. So you want to be on top of taking your binder just to make sure that those things come out of the body and they don't stay in and continue to wreak havoc. Um, Further on in my parasite journey, I learned a lot about enemas. And I am now convinced enemas are like almost a cure all, which is so funny to even say. And I'm not even talking about like coffee enemas or, other, I'm talking about like distilled water enemas.
Okay, like for just pause for a second because I just want to address the when you say enema, and I will say I did an enema long time ago.
Yeah.
One of those like at the grocery store, come in a little packet, like get on all fours, squeeze it into yourself. And I thought I was dying. I thought I was dying. I was like, this is the most miserable thing I've ever experienced. So the first time you told me the word enema, I was like panicked.
Yeah.
I'm like, enema, I'm sorry, you want me to what? Like scared the crap out of me, like maybe pun intended. you know, so so when you say enema, you're not referring to that little saline packet, whatever that you get from the store. Like, what do you mean when you say enema?
Yeah, I am definitely not referring to that. Do not go to the store and buy those and use those. Those are extremely harsh on your body. Now, I'm not saying I've never done that. There's probably a time and a place. I mean, in my opinion, there's a time and a place for all modern medicines at this point.
Yeah.
Um, but as far as the enema, it's actually this super gentle process. And I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about my body through education about enemas, like all about the colon. Like the colon is not just the colon. Like it's like, your ascending colon and your traverse colon and your descending colon. And yeah, so I'm talking about, you guys have seen probably on Amazon or at Walmart, like the enema bags. I should have brought one as an example. The enema bag, and it has like a long tube with like an applicator on the end and has like a stopper in the middle. That's what I'm talking about. And you're using distilled water. I also like to add aloe vera occasionally, just as like apparently the colon, that is like really helpful for the colon. During my parasite cleansing, I went and got a colonic, and I'm not talking about like just like any kind of colonic. This colonic was like extremely educational for me. It was very gentle. I had my practitioner was there with me administering it. It wasn't like a place I showed up and like just went in there and pushed a button. It was like a person was there. I know those places exist. It's like,
No,
yeah,
seriously, that's a real thing. I'm sorry, I thought you were joking.
no,
Like
it's
the whole world of enemas, honestly, I'm very new to it. Like you're the one who got me turned on to doing enemas. And like I said before you, the whole thing just really freaked me out. And so the thought of just walking into a place and hitting a button, that seems so not okay. What are you so many questions.
yeah, yeah,
How does
and
that even work?
those places aren't necessarily just using like a gravity fed system. They're using like a machine that kind of pushes it in. And I'm not saying that's necessarily like a bad thing. I'm just saying you probably don't want to like be doing those all of the time. But the colonic that I experienced was with my practitioner there, and she was administering it, and it was a gravity fed system. So it was extremely gentle. The
When
whole
you say gravity fed, you mean that the liquid is higher up and you are lower, and it's just the gentle flow of gravity allowing it to come down and then penetrate into your colon.
That's exactly what I'm talking about.
So just real quick, the I would love to give our listeners this visual. I think I shared a podcast with you not too long ago where they were talking about the gut, and I love that they referred to the gut as the inside of a donut.
Oh, yeah.
'Cause they said that, the your digestive tract, it never touches the actual inside of your body. It is like the inside of a donut. Like the top hole is here and the bottom hole is down there. And like everything in between is like feeding things through the donut. And so if you think about it like that, like a big straw or a big tube, then think about what happens when you suck a really thick smoothie through a straw, and then you don't clean it well afterwards and it gets stuck in the drawer, and then like all the stuff gets built up inside the straw, and it's so gross and caked on, and it needs some extra assistance to flush that gunk through that straw. And that's essentially what we're doing here then when we're using the enema to kind of go in and clean out the inside of that straw and then let everything come back out.
Yeah, that's it. That is such like the perfect explanation of how that works. Like I didn't know that our colon kind of has like pockets. There are pockets in there. And you're going to have stuff get stuck in there because we've all had moments in our lives. I mean, maybe not all of us, but a lot of us, the majority of us, especially if you've ever eaten the standard American diet, you have old poop probably trapped in those kind of bubbles in your colon. And I mean, just like anything, you have toxins sitting in an area for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years. What do you think's going to happen? It's not going to be good, you know?
Yeah. And it's so interesting because we do have organs in our bodies that are wonderful at detoxifying, right? Our kidneys are great at it, our liver's great at it, like that's their job. That's what they're there for. But your kidneys and your liver, they can't scrub out your colon. They can't get rid of all that old junk stuck inside the straw. They can just try and clean out the toxins that we're eating. So I know I hear a lot of controversy when it comes to quote unquote cleansing because like, well, the body naturally cleanses. And I'm like, yeah, but we can support the body
Mhm.
on its path to getting where we want it to be.
Mhm. Yeah, I could not agree more about that.
So then you learned all about enemas, you learned about parasites. What did you do with this information that you learned?
Well, I mean, I posted it on the internet because
I'm sorry, that's the best response I think you could have ever given.
I just like wanted to share what I'd been learning and I just felt like people knew this. People needed to know
Yeah,
how powerful they really are once you have the knowledge that you need to heal your body.
yeah,
And I wanted to share my own parasite cleansing journey just to kind of take away any like you said, the fear of it. Like, ew, gross. No,
yeah,
I don't want to know. Like that kind of because I wanted people to know number one, it's safe to do if you're doing it the correct way.
that's
And
a really good point if you're doing it the correct way, because there are a lot of really dangerous ways to, cleanse your body.
oh yeah, yeah. And we're talking like this is a very gentle approach. And in my opinion, this is a very gentle approach. And I wanted, yeah, to take the stigma away. I wanted people to know because I'm sure there are people like me that were like, hold on, I live in America. How do I have parasites? And, and also like you can do this from your home. You don't have to go somewhere and pay a lot of money to cleanse your body. You can actually do it for yourself. And two, because I really enjoy community. And I just saw this as an opportunity to kind of share with the community, build a community. And it was really fun. And it kind of made it a little, it made it a little bit more fun if I like posted a reel every day, like this is day one of my
Yeah,
embarrassments. And it was one of those things that people were coming up to me, people like that I know in real life were coming up to me like, I had no idea. This is amazing. I'm going to do this. So I had so many friends that were able to do it as well. And they just the benefits that they experienced was so worth like sharing me digging through my eliminations on the internet. You know, like
So you started parasite cleansing and then you started seeing things come out of you.
yeah. Oh yeah. I think I started well, even day 1, because you're taking this binder and it's like pulling stuff out of you. And I was just like, whoa, what is that? But really by day 3, like all bets were off. Well, actually it was day 2. Should I share what happened to me?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. Say all the things.
It was the night of day 2. I was brushing my teeth. I have braces, 36 and braces. It's a journey, you guys. It's
It's
a journey.
beautiful.
Your retainers, okay?
We could just give one PSA to every teenager out there. It's wear your retainer because both of us have done adult braces.
Wear your retainer. Well, we don't want to do this, okay? But it's yeah. So I was brushing my teeth. I'm very diligent about that. I'm like, water picking or whatever. So I'm brushing my teeth end of night 2. I'm exhausted, you guys. Like the first day, I was so excited and this is awesome. And then day 2, stuff's starting to die. And I'm feeling it. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. I'm feeling exhausted. And I go to brush my teeth. I'm water picking my teeth and I feel something in my mouth. And I just kind of go to, how you do like a finger swipe with like a toddler when they put something in their mouth. That's what I should, because I just didn't think. I thought it's something I'm water picking out of my, I don't
Why
know.
would you think it would be anything else? Like a popcorn seed or something that could have gotten stuck in your teeth?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I was only eating fruit and like pureed soups. So I should have realized this was not something stuck in my braces.
Wait, but like fruits have fibers. And so, like, especially fresh fruits, like it could have been like a fruit fiber or something.
It's true. And maybe that's what I was thinking when I went to finger swipe. I finger swiped my mouth and out came a worm. It was dead. It was part of, not the entire thing, not the entirety of it, but it was a worm.
So
And
I can, oh, sorry, pause. I'm like, how big was it?
no, it was pretty small in diameter, but I could tell it was like long and it was just like pieces of it.
Okay.
But what was interesting was I was feeling something in my throat that day. Yeah. And I kept trying to swallow it down, and I couldn't. And I was like, this is so weird. But what's even stranger is like leading up to this, before I started parasite cleansing, I was like having some issues. Like I've always felt like there was kind of something in my throat. I was like, is this drainage? Am I just not chewing my food well? And it was just kind of a part of my everyday life. I didn't really realize. You know how those things happen and they just become normal? Uh-huh. Yeah. So I freak out. Okay. I'm like, what the actual, I take a picture of it because I need confirmation. I need
Well, yes, because otherwise you like gaslight yourself into thinking, well, maybe it was something else.
yeah, there's no way.
Yeah.
No way. So I
Yeah.
take a picture of it and I send it to the gal who I purchased the parasite kit from, who is just brilliant. We should totally share her info.
Oh,
Erin,
yeah, it will go in the links down below. Yes.
brilliant mind. Anyway, I sent it to her. She was so gracious and responded. And she confirmed, yeah, that's a parasite. And she congratulated me, which was like, just, but like, it made me feel like, oh my gosh, my body is doing this thing.
You were so ready. Like, I don't know that I've ever been with someone when they were that ready to do a cleanse because you had just kind of this knowing within you that, parasites and heavy metals were something that you needed to work on and get out of your body. And that had been going on for a little bit. And so when you found this cleanse, it really spoke to you. And then it's like your body just knew what to do
The
as soon
floodgates
as you
opened.
started.
Yeah. The floodgates opened. And to be completely honest with you guys, they have not closed.
How long has it been now?
So I did my first cleanse in May. First
Okay, so
one.
it's for reference, it's now the end of October. So, May, June, July, August, September, October. That's 6 months.
Yeah. And I
That's a
did
long time.
one. When did I do that? I did a second one. Did I do it? I did in August. So I did
Mhm.
first one in May, second one in August. And of course I did maintenance in between. Okay. And I am still passing dead parasites. Like sometimes when I eliminate, I'm like, what the heck? How did that even happen? It's wild.
Oh.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it just like one kind of parasite? Like, is it a whole bunch of kinds? Like, what does it look like? What does it feel like when these parasites are eliminating?
Yeah, so it depends, like, if during the cleanses, when you're taking the binder and stuff like that, like, you can kind of tell when things, like, get released and pass through. It's kind of this is gonna be kind of a gross explanation. I feel like you know what I'm about to say, but it's like a jellyfish just, like, flips out. It's kind of a weird
Or sometimes they're a little like bumpy, and so it's like bump, 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 bump on its way out. Yeah,
yeah, that's what it's like.
but like smooth,
Yeah, and not painful at all,
not at
not
all.
no discomfort. It's actually like I kind of became, like, so relieved when that would happen that it would, like, erupt in excitement and, "Oh my gosh, it's happening," they're "It's coming out. Good job, body. Way to go. I'm so proud of you." And that's what Erin did when I sent her that message with the parasite. She congratulated me, and then I realized, like, this is an exciting time, and I need to celebrate it. I need to celebrate that my body's been asking for this, and it was divine timing that this information fell into my lap and that I was able at the time to make it work in my current season of life, and it is something to be celebrated, but yeah, that's exactly what it felt like. Yeah.
So can you just like really quickly walk us through what the cleanse itself looked like for you? Like how long was it? What did you do during that time?
Yeah, sure. So with her specific cleanse, it's 10 days. Now, if you are not eating a pretty clean diet leading up to that cleanse, they do recommend like you're kind of easing into it. So yours may seem a little bit longer in the front end if you are kind of coming into it eating more of a processed food, American standard diet. We eat pretty clean for the most part. I don't eat a ton of meat normally. So it was kind of easy for me to just like rip the band-aid off and go straight into it. So it was 10 days and then you wait like a week and then you do like another 5-day kind of maintenance mode, I guess you could call it. So I did 2 of those full cleanses. Like I said, I did one in May and then I did another one in August. And most of the world cleanses like quarterly, like as
Um,
this seasons
I
change.
not necessarily in America, but a lot of areas of the world do cleanses. Even if you're just eating off the land, then based on what's in season, you're kind of naturally going through a cleanse quarterly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like when you think about what foods are in season for every different season, like we just talked about, you and I talked about this today, is I'm like, I just want all the pears. They're so good. And what do pears offer us? I mean, first of all, so much like vitamin C, all kinds of minerals, fibers, one of those things. And if you're eating
Hydration,
hydration, if you're eating, pears every day, you're moving your digestion,
you're
like,
essentially doing a cleanse.
you're essentially yes, and there are other things like pumpkin seeds are good in the fall, and what do pumpkin seeds do? Pumpkin seeds kill parasites, bruh.
They
You
do.
know?
Mhm. And papayas
Yeah.
and coconut oil, coconut oil. What are some other things? Is there anything else that you can think of that just kind of like naturally doesn't align with a conducive environment for
Parasite.
parasites?
Yeah. Well, and during the cleanse specifically, you're avoiding sugar of any kind, really. I mean, except for what you're getting in fruit, right? But like any kind of processed sugars or anything like that. Because parasites they love sugar. They're living, thriving. Dairy, they're thriving. Meats, a lot of the times, they're thriving. So I would say if you're looking to eliminate parasites in your body, just really paying attention to those things that you're like, are you eating a lot of sugar? Are you eating a lot of dairy? Are you eating a lot of meat? But yeah, so what did we talked about papayas. Papaya seeds, I think, are like the
Yep.
magic there. Pumpkin seeds. Yes.
Papayas have so many great digestive enzymes naturally in them that just, oh, they support your gut so well.
So well, yes.
Mhm.
Coconut. So I've been incorporating coconut milk into my life pretty much daily because I love to have like teas or like I love a good golden milk. And so I'll do that and I'll use coconut milk. When I
What
went
what's
oh,
golden milk? Can you just tell us what golden milk is, just for anybody who doesn't know?
so golden milk is like a tea and it's a mix of turmeric and like Ceylon cinnamon and ginger and of course black pepper because you need black pepper to kind of activate that turmeric and get the full on like magical benefits.
All of those anti-inflammatory benefits there.
Crazy. So it's kind of like a mix that has those things in it. And I do that with like some honey and mostly hot water. And then I top it with coconut milk. And I'd like zhuzh it with my little zhuzher. Everybody has one of those now, thanks to the interwebs.
A little frother.
Yeah, the little frother. And
Yum.
it's magic. And it's like the color of my shirt. Like
Yep.
it's so beautiful. And the medicinal benefits of it are just, you know. So yes, I love my golden milk. It's magic.
So would you say that these things that you've incorporated post cleanse would be what's keeping your body on that track, eliminating the parasites even when you're not cleansing?
For sure. I think I'm just so much more aware of what my body is asking for, what it's needing. And because during this cleanse, you're getting to know yourself really well. You're kind of getting the stuff out of the way that maybe you would be eating normally, maybe you would be kind of numbing yourself with, or if you're an emotional eater, like you're like, oh, right now I would be reaching for this thing, but I'm not partaking in that right now.
Right.
It made me love fruit again.
I love fruit, but I agree. The cleanse was phenomenal for that.
It made me fall in love with fruit. I mangoes, I had never eaten mangoes before in my life, really, because I know. And then like through this cleanse, they're like, eat mangoes. They're so high in all, minerals and vitamins and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, mangoes? I don't know. So I would go to the store, I buy these organic mangoes and I start eating them. I'm addicted to mangoes. They're
Because they're nature's candy. They're so good.
so good. And so that's like what I ate all summer.
Yep. Yep.
Mangoes and because yeah, so that was interesting. It really gave me a love for fruit again. So
Well, isn't it so interesting that, and I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't eat fruit because of the sugar content. But sugar, refined sugar, feeds these parasites. The processed sugar feeds the parasites and gives them an environment to grow and flourish. And the sugar from the fruit sustains your body and allows your body to make an environment that the parasites die in.
it's less hospitable.
Yes, that's right, that's right. So it is not the same. It is
Right.
not the same thing, the processed sugar versus the sugar from the fruit, and if your body is just really craving sugar, maybe it's not your body, maybe it's the things living in it.
The conscious organisms. Yeah. And they are super acidic beings. They are thriving in an acidic environment within your body. So if you're somebody that has ever struggled with like candida overgrowth, we all have like somewhat like levels of candida in our body. It's just part of your microbiome. But what
Sure.
happens is you get this overgrowth of candida and it's just wreaks havoc, causes all of this acidity to build up. Parasites are loving that. So if you can get your body more into an alkaline state of being, which how do we do that? Fruits, so even though, yeah, there's sugar in the fruit, but those things are more alkaline
Yep.
when we put them in our body. So it's creating this environment in which the parasites can't thrive. And I'm kind of having this epiphany right now that I think that is one of the things that has happened for me and my body and the change of its internal chemistry. Because
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how am I still, it's October, almost November, like
Yeah.
in October, almost November, I'm still eliminating parasites, still like experiencing benefits of this parasite cleanse. And yet I'm not actively taking the herbs right now. And parasites are dead. Parasites I'm still eliminating.
It's so amazing. It is so amazing. I mean, even just looking at you physically now versus 6 months ago before you started all this, I can the inflammation in your body, I can see it everywhere on you, and it's not that, oh my gosh, you've lost so much weight because I don't even know that your weight has changed that much, but you look so much healthier.
Yeah, for sure. I had developed this layer of inflammation.
Yeah.
It very much like it was all over my body. It wasn't just one area of my body. And it was something that I was like very aware of, but I couldn't figure out why it was happening to me because I hadn't changed anything in my lifestyle. Like I'm a yoga girl, I'm a walker, I eat pretty clean. You know me. So
Yep.
I'm, why does this happen? Was it the sourdough? I don't know. And I just think what happened was over the past really 4 years of my life, and this is probably a lot of people, we went through a lot in the last few years. Like we walked through some really traumatic times within the environment that we're living in, the world that we're living in. And for people who live in like highly sensitive bodies, it was a lot for us.
Yeah.
Even if we weren't directly, affected by it, but we were all directly affected by it.
Yeah.
And we carry, we feel a lot. We feel for people we don't even know on the other side of the world. And I just think it was a lot for my body. And my body was like, I'm overrun right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to let go. So it couldn't let go of the toxins, of the parasites, of, the inflammation. And so when I did this cleanse, that was something that I've experienced. I just had a massage the other day with my massage therapist, and she's kind of been with me through this process. And she was massaging me and she was like, "Girl, like you have lost inches." She goes, "I don't know how to explain it other than to say that like you have lost inches."
Yep.
It's it's not that I lost 50 pounds, but I lost that layer of inflammation. Did I lose some weight? Yeah, a little bit, but not enough to like, I don't know. I actually have a pair of jeans on right now. I'm sitting in a pair of jeans that I could couldn't even wear before.
Yeah.
And I'm swimming in them. And I haven't, like I said, the scale doesn't really say that much.
Right.
It's because of this, my body, the toxins are gone.
Yep.
The heavy metals are gone. My body's able to eliminate those things like it should have been how God intended it all along. It just couldn't because it couldn't let go.
Well, and it's so interesting because everything that you just described is, I always tell my clients, you will never get where you want to be with your body until your mind and your body are in alignment, until they're in agreement, until everything is working together for you to actually reach the goal that you want to reach. And that's what you did. Everything came into alignment and you began to work together. Your mind, body, soul came together and you were able to walk through this journey. Girl, I have all the chills. Walk through this journey and you've come out the other side just so much lighter, and not just lighter physically but emotionally, spiritually, just everything across the board. It's been such a beautiful thing to watch you walk through.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think at the beginning of the year, kind of I don't want to say like resolution because I don't believe in resolutions, but I just said to myself, like, I just want to trust myself again.
Yeah.
I want to trust myself. I want to feel safe in my body. And it's crazy because that's what's happened.
Yeah. And so many people don't. I tell people, if your friend treated you the way you treated you, how long do you think you would be friends with them?
Not very long.
Not very long. You'd be like, well, that's a really bad friend.
Be like, I'm not friends with her. She's mean.
So mean. If someone said the things to you that you say to yourself, how long would you want to be around them? And yet here we are living with ourselves 24/7.
Yeah.
Can't get away, and wondering why we all feel bad, like, maybe if we just try to be a little bit nicer, and that's what you did. That's
Yeah.
just so awesome. It's so amazing. If you are just dying to see the pictures and see a closer look at Rebecca's journey, I will link her Instagram here in the description. So just go down below. You can find her Instagram. Definitely follow her. Oh my goodness. She is going to be back next time to talk with us about fall and winter wellness. And this woman just has the most amazing things to say. So keep listening, come back. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Rebecca.
Lauren, it's been so much fun. I've loved every second.
So awesome. If people have questions about your journey, can they reach out? Can they contact you?
Absolutely. Please don't hesitate to reach out. You can DM me or comment on some of the reels that I shared. I shared a reel a day as I was walking through my parasite journey. That was the first one I did. So, yeah, please reach out, ask questions. There are no stupid questions. I am more than happy to share, my journey, but also like I've done a lot of research. So I'm
Yeah.
here.
You have. I know when I have done the cleanse twice now as well. And even through the second cleanse, where I felt like I was seasoned and really kind of knew what I was doing, I feel like I was messaging you multiple times a day, like, okay, now this happened. What's going on here? You're just a wealth of information. So thank you so much for that. Oh, friends, thank you for showing up today. Please like, subscribe, follow, comment. Let us know how you're feeling. Let us know if there's a way that we can serve you or be with you today. And we'll catch you next time. Bye, friends. Let's see if I can just stop the recording without ending.